I'm here to talk about how to predict the future of entertainment. So naturally, I brought my crystal ball. Well, in reality, no matter how close you look at this crystal ball won't actually show us what the future of entertainment will hold, but it does hold a clue to the future. The clue is in its ability to reflect. The future can be predicted based on our reflections of our environment and the people around them. This crystal ball belonged to my grandfather, Henry Gordon. He was a magician and debunker who would appear on shows from Oprah to Larry King. Growing up, I learned that humans have the power to create magic. The formula is simple, and it's based on reflection. By understanding deep audience insights, the stories that audiences want to be a part of, and the technology to give them those experiences, that creates magic. This formula is behind creating illusions and stories that have pushed entertainment forward. For decades, magicians have been pushing storytelling further. For example, this photo with the ghost on stage is an illusion created in the late 1800s called Pepper's Ghost. The concept became an early stage version of onstage hologram performances, interacting alongside real actors. And this illusion of an automated chess player was from the late 1700s. It offered the illusion that you can play chess against a machine. Now it's an IDM offering available in computers and even on most phones right now. The thinkers behind these illusions had a vision for how an unbelievable story or interaction could take place. And instead of being held back by what was possible, they used technology and some human help to build it. So, to predict the future of entertainment, we need to step away from thinking about technology and start by focusing on humanity. We need to truly understand our audiences. This audience-first focus has helped me to launch many new products, from new cereal SKUs like oatmeal to a Princess IP to the joint venture between The Void and Cineplex a few years ago. And now I support the development of new products, programs, and marketing and communication campaigns for studios with immersive, interactive, and also what you would call traditional 2D content. I also get invited to speak and write about the future of storytelling and the evolving means of monetizing it. And for fun, I just created and produced the first live magic show in virtual reality in history, with some support from Microsoft. So we have quite a diverse group of leaders and creators here tonight. I'm curious to know how you're planning around creating for the future. Game sales are on the rise, new technologies and hardware continue to launch, and we have the unknowns of the pandemic's impact on short and long-term consumer behavior. We know that simply planning to create a few cool features may not result in a breakthrough experience or even lasting revenue. So to create for the future, I feel that it's actually dangerous to hold ourselves to being in a single industry, like mobile or console games or VR experiences. Right now, if we start by designing story content tied down to a specific industry, there's a chance that the industry will no longer exist on its own by the time the content's ready for launch. We're competing in the entertainment industry for share of audiences' leisure time and the dollars that they're willing to spend on it. And what's included in the entertainment industry is expanding, even while a lot of location-based entertainment is temporarily shut down. Story and entertainment offers value to the economy. It's more than sales from downloads, from subscription, ticket sales. It's a way to drive foot traffic to stores, to incent in-restaurant dining, to sell brand stories, ad space, ad time, even online retailer perks, and even premium at-home workout equipment. As Netflix CEO Reed Hastings put it, their offering competes with audience sleep, and their content and algorithm has them doing pretty well against it. With the rise of virtual production, even studios who traditionally may have focused on 2D linear content are able to more easily develop interactive extensions with their existing IP, and their assets now being in-game engine. So as you're considering how to compete or collaborate for share of leisure time, consider how your story content is offering more value to audiences than their other choices. To understand that, you need to truly get who your audience is, far beyond the demographics and type of IDM content that they like to spend on. After all, retailers, restaurants, brands, workout brands, and even sleep are part of your extended competitive set now and in the future. And the story content that they're offering may be free or deeply discounted. If we think to how leisure time may be spent in the future, how can your IDM offer valued entertainment? To create true value, it comes back to understanding deep-rooted audience insights. What drives them? And what amount of time and money are they willing to spend to feel like they're getting value from their interactive content? There are, of course, a vast range of needs, using the classic hierarchy of needs here as a simple example, but start by understanding what need your content is being designed for to begin to narrow down your competitive set and also the value that you're able to offer to your specific audience through interaction and story. The revenue model that you build for your content should fit into your understanding of the value that you offer, from the length of actual entertainment time to the emotional payoff of engaging with your IDM content. Your competitive set that offers similar value to audiences can also have a diverse approach to how audiences are able to access their content. And what audiences have to spend to get to the entertainment is a part of the overall offering. Consider that what they have to spend is more than money. It's about the time that it takes to access the content, which takes away from audiences' leisure time. So, with this perspective in mind, we're going to go through a few ways to approach planning to create interactive content experiences for future markets. First, you don't have to be the first mover into new features or forms of storytelling. You can watch and learn from companies that may take the risk to move first. Apple does this incredibly well. They weren't the first ones out with a computer or a smartphone or a smartwatch or even a VR headset, but the features and positioning are often refined to what they've learned audiences value most. By learning from what audiences are building in IDM, you can uncover ideas that work well for the unique offering that you're looking to build. Often, if a new feature is tested by another big studio, they may have decided to take that risk because they have already paid for valuable audience insights that have inspired that feature. As you're learning from what others are building and making assumptions on why they're building those offerings, you can also take the time to identify what could be better and what could make that interactive story experience even more valuable to your audience. While you should already be gathering audience feedback on your own IDM concept at various stages of product development, you can also do this for others' content developed to serve the same audience need. For example, here are a few of the types of live interactive shows that have been taking place over the last few months. This example, there's Instagram, Zoom, and in VR. So if you want to work on a live theater IDM product, understanding the pros and cons of onboarding through to the means of interaction with these characters are incredibly valuable. You could also learn from different revenue models, from traditional ticket sales that are of course still happening to how experiences are offering free content with sponsorship. On top of being familiar with the pros and cons of competitive content, it's important to stay familiar, more broadly speaking, with what audiences expect IDM content to be able to do overall. For example, already it's becoming quite commonplace for AR to be engaged with without having to download an app. And features like object recognition are virtually standard, even for free content from brands. Because of this, IDM content being sold must be developed to offer more entertainment value than people can get for free. You can also offer benefit from watching how audiences are interacting with their new tech to really identify how those experiences can be improved. Next, consider tracking more than just audience engagement with content. Of course, this takes time, but it's definitely worth it. IDM stories can come to life in new ways as audiences integrate new technologies into their daily lives. For example, smart tags with Bluetooth trackers from Samsung and very soon Apple are expected to become popular items for consumers to buy. As they get into the habit of using them, how can story be brought to life leveraging smart tags? In fact, can great story experiences help to sell more of them? Look at how voice assistant tech is evolving to also become a means for games with voice interaction. On top of understanding and planning for audience adoption of new technologies, track and anticipate how audiences are feeling around how connected technologies can become with them. Millions of people now trust technology enough to have it listening in their homes and even on their phones. A short while ago, this may have caused absolute fear in most people. And for some time, even though they don't, and for some time and for some people, even though they haven't or still don't fully trust technology, it's still allowed in their homes because overall, they get value from it. Because of this, IDM content with voice interaction can have a strong reach for audiences integrating that type of interaction into their daily lives. Next, the ability to anticipate the integration of technologies into consumers' daily lives comes down to anticipating how well technology can satisfy major needs. For example, autocomplete is not new, but it's now been evolving to features like Google Smart Compose, where email copy, so again, not just individual words, is automatically being suggested using Gmail. And users, like me, are helping to train this platform. With consumer comfort with this near mind-reading illusion, it's no longer seemingly eerie to offer stories that are written in real time as a reaction to certain choices that audiences can make. And as audiences get more comfortable with interacting with writing tools, it feels more natural to interact with virtual or non-real people or beings who are coming to life using various forms of AI, like reinforcement learning. So Beck is just one of the examples of these virtual beings. They're characters defined by story creators that also have the ability to interact with audiences on different mediums. Fable Studio has created Beck with a combination of human-written dialogue with AI responses that are available through GPT-3 technology. And as audiences are getting comfortable with interacting with virtual beings with characteristics of their own, audiences are also spending, such as through subscription models, to make their own digital being friends. They're starting to be comfortable with sharing their own personal information far beyond their search behavior with technology in the form of a human. These interactions are offering a range of values to audience members. And as some audiences are comfortable with sharing their personal information as a part of interactions with digital platforms and characters by voice and text already, there's no doubt that soon audiences will become more comfortable with sharing an increased amount of sentiments, biometric data, and with more trusted technology in order to get value back, whether that be through story or something else. Even relatively recent iPhone updates are automatically estimating details like percentage of time during your walk where both of your feet are on the ground with double support time. You didn't even have to opt in for this. Audiences are also already allowing for our faces and bodies to be tracked in a way to allow for face filters and backgrounds in our basic video conferencing apps. Consider how these advancements in comfort with evolving technologies can be integrated into how audiences interact with and impact your IDM experiences. But also please respect the trust given to your story and story platform. Leveraging new technologies, you could even consider completely new models for your content. For example, if select audiences are helping to feed into the creation or development of your characters or stories, like mass audiences or even a select pool of celebrities, could their subscription fee be a tier at a lower price? Or would it make sense for them to get a small return on the revenue that your content it is actually generating, the content that they're helping to co-create? And as robots with physical human-like presence become more popular in homes, consider how they can become a part of your IDM content. Already, there are robots that are helpers and interactive teachers. The photo here with two robots, so the one with the robot sitting, I actually took that just about 4 years ago at South by Southwest. Those two robots, again, 4 years ago, were trained to have a conversation with each other, but they also had the ability to interact with a human to then naturally segue the conversation back to what the weather was like in Austin at the time. This was and still is equally terrifying as it is incredible. But imagine how robots or other physical digital products can come to life to create a form of live immersive theater in people's homes soon. The story experiences can be offered through hardware companies shipping the robots, for example. On top of anticipating how audiences will adopt new technology solutions, it's useful to understand how their own digital persona, or personas, plural, may offer value to them. Already, audiences are experimenting with who they can be in virtual worlds through to in video calls. And their usage of these technologies is showing that looking like a cartoon animation or as an aspirational or funny, more realistic version of themselves can impact how they feel and how they interact with the worlds and people around them. There is a lot to be learned from how audiences feel comfortable with being different digital characters, which could even inspire your interactive story experiences. Next, as you get to know more about your audience needs through to their anticipated comfort levels with new technologies, there may be many ways to approach predicting how your interactive story experiences can come to life. For example, if you look to enhance existing experiences. If your audience wants to feel more confident in themselves while being connected, maybe there's a unique interactive fitness experience that can be developed. If your audience wants to spend more quality time with their kids while helping them to get hands-on with imaginative play, consider existing moments and experiences that can be enhanced with IDM. Get to know the reasons why they're having certain elements in their regular routines and how your content can enhance the right ones. By understanding how consumers are engaging with existing stories, both fiction and even their own real-life events, you may also identify ways that you can bring more entertainment to life. For example, most of us are getting drained by Zoom or Zoom-like calls. So with the new app called Tele, it's by the Spatial team. You can download it just on the App Store. It's very cool. You can now actually have catch-ups with your friends as holograms for free. So how can IDM make those holographic catch-ups more entertaining? So entertaining, in fact, that people would be willing to pay for those experiences. So after all, they're already starting to pay for entertainment and actors and magicians even to join them on Zoom. Next, as you get to know more about who your audience is and what they need and value, look to identify if there are complementary things that they love to do in their leisure time that could inspire a unique mashup IDM experience. For example, Helium created a really innovative subscription-based experience that integrates a range of immersive experiences into content tied to mindfulness. Another pairing that can help to develop new IDM experiences is collaborating with entertainment venues. Entertainment venues, from the obvious theme park to family entertainment centers, have deep insights into how audiences like to interact with their environments. as well as what they would love to be changed and improved on. Collaborations like this can offer interactive digital experiences that can't be replicated in real life, but can also still promote the value of physically visiting that environment. And especially as we come out of the pandemic, very soon, entertainment venues will be becoming increasingly competitive to sell tickets to make up for all of the lost revenues while managing through the changes to their physical space to be extra safe. Adding a layer of interactive digital media content to their attractions can truly incent ticket sales. Retailers are also going to want to continue to evolve their entertainment value to incent consumers to invest their time to physically visit them. Just like entertainment venues, IDM can offer valuable reason for audiences to visit. These pictures are just a few examples of how this can be done. From having interactive projection mapping to hands-free interactive screens that can appear in stores or even on kiosks to attract and engage people. These screens can even allow passersby to try on outfits digitally or place them in a virtual story world that they could interact with through their own phones, even through AR. And as consumers, like me, have gotten quite used to shopping online and the benefits of doing so, there's no doubt that the future of retail will include entertainment as a form of competitive value. Not only like offering entertainment through Amazon Prime or Amazon AR, the new app, or Lululemon's website or Nike's site or more, but by making the shopping experience itself more engaging. So this example is using the Obsessed platform that creates immersive digital shopping experiences in both VR and AR. This example integrated Sam Club products in the world of National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. So you could walk around the world and learn more about the products and buy. If you have an upcoming or existing experience that could have a natural tie-in to seamlessly selling a category of products, now could be that time to experiment with it. Events, from concerts to sports and theater, are major IDM competitors where audiences have been spending their leisure time and money. They're places to connect and get inspired, and there's no doubt that, again, as the pandemic gets resolved, there will be an increased audience desire to get out to these live, social, in-person events. Event venue owners, through to labels and artists, have needs for IDM for at-home events right now, big time, and for in-person events in the near future. So during the pandemic, events have been taking place across platforms, ranging from Instagram to Zoom, in games like with Travis Scott in Fortnite, through to Diplo in VR. There's so much experimentation and learning, which is starting to create avenues for revenue that may be lasting beyond the pandemic. And it's creating new ways for more audiences to access live shows around the world. More audience, of course, more money. So whether it's solving for the ideal live theater experience at home or developing licensed digital experiences for in-person events, the event industry will need IDM content to compete. So we talked about considering retailers as new collaborators as they're starting to offer IDM experiences, brands that are retailers, restaurants, as well as simply product brands are also continuing to experiment with content. For example, the Design Home app, that's my personal favorite game that integrates branded content. I can compete to design rooms and also get to know the product lines for furniture and accessories that fit with my style. KFC is a brand that has had a lot of fun testing out branded content. They recently tested doing a basic form of what you can call a virtual being. Colonel Sanders, as virtual beings and audience engagement evolve with virtual beings in general, opportunity definitely exists to personify more brands with characters that can be interacted with across multiple platforms, and even become a driver for audiences and consumers to visit retailers selling product. Next, New interactive digital workout content, it is booming, driven by the pandemic. And of course, it's getting a lot more fun. Peloton's, of course, one of the leaders, but there are online classes currently led by real humans, which soon can also be virtual beings. Lululemon has an interactive reflective mirror product that they acquired at the very beginning of the pandemic. Snap is now a platform where trainers can create their own content, leveraging the platform's new full body tracking abilities. Startups like Limbic, based in Germany, just launched a Kickstarter. They're using projection to offer interactive workout games for adults through to kids. And there's even VR games like Supernatural, Beat Saber, and even some dance games that are really positioned as not just fun and competitive, but great workout solutions. And all of this content varies between being free, one-time downloads with microtransactions like music packs, to being the subscription-based model, if there's enough content to validate that. You can consider collaborating with fitness brands or personalities to create new forms of content. Consider even looking at how dance training can be made possible. The desire to dance and learn to dance is not going away. And fitness, of course, is not confined to being indoors only. Pokemon Go was considered a incentive for people to get outside a couple of years ago. So we've covered some examples of new collaborators, but also think about, as consumer behavior continues to evolve, where is entertainment missing? Some of us will get back to physically commuting to the office, but with the rise of self-driving vehicles, how will different audience segments want to pass that extra free time? And then, as another example, as the number of people with dogs and pets at home increases, is there a way to make some of those walks even more entertaining and maybe even inspire some shared bonding moments with pets at home? Another way to predict the future of entertainment is to anticipate your next new competition. What other categories may have the insights or IP or distribution strength of consumer technology to get into the IDM entertainment game? The obvious examples are Google, Amazon, social media platforms. But what about a company like a credit card company and all of the access to data on audience behavior when it comes to spending, even on leisure? Maybe they can get into the entertainment game. So how can you carve out beneficial relationships with new competition before they hit the market? Thinking back to the hierarchy of needs example, whether your experience is helping audiences desire for esteem, for self-actualization, or love and belonging, various types of connections to others through content is definitely something that is engaging to many. Consider how your content can form the connections that audiences want, connections that can help them feel like they're a part of something, and even more in touch with themselves. These examples are new offerings that allow connections with others. So on the left, I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with the Cameo platform, but they evolved over the pandemic. Now, fans can pay to book short Zoom calls with celebrities. If this evolves to booking with virtual beings, of course, it becomes a lot more accessible for a lot more people. The second example is the Clubhouse app, which I actually just recently joined. You can drop in to join audio chats with your friends and even groups based on your interest. It's free, it's ad-free for now, but there's opportunity to make it a free platform with ads, or maybe even it can become sold to possibly tie in as a perk to using a platform like Alexa. So as you get to know your audience needs, some of them may be solely driven by an interest for their own enjoyment, but others may be driven by how they want to be perceived in the world now, and even once they've left it behind. The examples here are being able to say that you've gone to Burning Man, or being able to share your score on the Mensa app. But also there's a lot of excitement, I think, around how you could manage your digital legacy. IDM content definitely has the power to allow audiences to create the digital footprint that they'd like to share with others. So as you get to know your audience, make sure that your insights go a lot deeper than the type of experience that they want to have and live. The why behind the value that they're looking to get can really unlock new opportunities. So as you're gathering audience insights and learning from how audiences are interacting with others' content and other leisure experiences, don't just look at this for the purpose of your own product. Take note of trends and gaps between ideal experiences and what's available now. Even if your business is currently B2C focused, if you identify a need for a solution, see if you can solve that need with your next IDM offering, but also spin it off into a product to help the industry forward and as another way of monetizing. And finally, as technologies evolve, they can help us to gather useful audience insights and to create never before experienced content. Behind the scenes decisions that we make around how the content's created are important parts of the value that the content can offer to its audience and beyond with jobs. The future of entertainment will include increased collaborations, not just integrations with new technologies. So consider how your content can help to showcase human creator ideas and human art so that entertainment continues to feel like magic and not just interactive stories rooted in algorithms. After all, the future of storytelling is based on humanity, not technology. And whoever controls the narrative has the power. It's best for humanity to retain that control. Knowing the power of narrative reinforces the value of designing content based on purpose. Solutions to deep-rooted audience needs paired with the right technologies to bring unbelievable experiences to life. So that is it for the presentation.